All right, hi. This is Reverend Paul Slackus, Good News, and Pause the World for Peace. And I'm here with David Dodd, a buddy for a long time. And how you feeling today?
I'm doing great, Paul. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. So I told David, I've been doing lots of interviews over in the last 27 plus years or whatever. And I'm like the guy you met in the bar that you got a story to tell. And I then said, David Duke, where do I sign? Oh, well, no, what? I got to sign something here? From tragedy to resilient triumph. So tell me about this book. I hear it's a little one, and that's kind of a book I like. What's it all about?
Yeah, it's very short, but it really is intertwining my life story with five principles of personal resilience. So, as you know, Paul, I've had a couple of life-changing events. One way back in 1994, when I was almost killed by through a terrible car accident. That the doctors told my family that I wasn't going to live, that they needed to call everyone in to make arrangements for me. And somehow I survived. And then almost to the day, 25 years later, the wreck happened on December 14th, 1994. Well, on September 4th, 2019, I had been feeling really strange and not well. And I had been in Puerto Rico. I was doing disaster recovery work there, and I came back to New Orleans. I already arranged to come back. And when I arrived in New Orleans, I knew something was wrong. So I went to the emergency room, and they, after a long wait, because it was a Friday night in New Orleans, which is prone to violence on weekends. Anyway, after a long wait, I was admitted into the emergency room, and they did a sample, and they came back, and these are emergency room doctors, Paul. They are not, they're used to seeing blood and guts, and they came in, and their faces were all ashen, and they said, "Mr. Dodd, you have a deadly, rapidly progressing bacterial infection, and we're going to have to amputate a part or maybe all of your leg to save your life." And I said, "Where do I sign?" And that's
Whoa.
the title of the book.
So you're one legless, one half legless right now?
They had to remove it above the knee, and I never understood the difference between above the knee amputation and below the knee amputation until it happened to me. Above the knee is much more difficult to get back on your feet from. So I have a prosthetic, and I just barely left enough of my. We're able to leave enough of my leg to handle a prosthetic, but I have to use a four wheeled walker. They call it a rollator to get around. Now, it's not slowed me down. I still travel everywhere and pride myself in being fairly
You're
independent.
historic. This guy is all over the freaking place, getting things done. Getting it didn't affect your brain, I'll tell you that.
Well, thank you. I have committed my life to disaster resilience, and that happened not long after we met. And Hurricane Katrina was the catalyst for that 20 years ago. And and I became very involved in the recovery from Katrina, and then that led to it was obviously I've been all over the world, Paul. I've been to 47 countries. I've never been anywhere that people over the age of 40 don't know Katrina. Younger people, some don't, but anyone over 40, I talk to people from every continent, and they all have heard of Katrina. So that led to other disaster recovery operations in places like Australia and the Philippines, and then Japan in 2011. They had that huge earthquake and tsunami. And Paul, I was in New Orleans after Katrina. I saw the devastation when the entire city was underwater. There was no comparison between what happened after Katrina and what happened on the east coast of Japan. Entire cities, Paul, were washed into the ocean.
Wow.
It was
Yeah.
horrific. Well, the numbers bear it out. There are 1,900 people lost their lives in Katrina, which is, one life is too many. But there were 23,000 people that lost their lives in Japan.
Yeah,
23
no, water, I don't know how much you know, but we help create World Water Day with a gentleman named Phil Sowers, and we have a show called the Water Hour for like 20 plus years. And water is two things. It's the sustenance of life, and it's going to be either we're going to be swimming in the island of Manhattan, or we're going to figure our way out of that by doing our Earth Day shows on April 22nd and showing all the people that are trying to figure their way out of that and doing good for water. I don't think you also know, I don't know if you know, maybe, David, that I produced the first Katrina concert, the first outreach of New York, Manhattan, in New York City with Salvation Army way back then on one of the piers here.
I do know that.
You
I
did know that,
absolutely
huh?
know that.
Oh, well, so the word Katrina to me is a serious. And we just had a New Orleans jazz festival here in Long Island. I got to
Yeah,
tell
I
you
heard
more
about
about that.
that.
Well, yeah, they had the Donald Harrison, and we had the boys and the girls.
Oh yeah.
Forget about it. Forget
That
about it.
was big. That was actually big news here because they've always wanted to do this. They've always wanted to expand beyond New Orleans, and now they're doing it. It's wonderful.
And it was great. It was great. I'm going to send you the link. I'll put the link at the bottom of this interview, our interview here. All right.
Yeah, do
So
that.
give us. I think you said four or five tips that are worthy of hearing right now.
Yeah, there are five
Short little
principles
interview. And what
of
are they?
personal resilience. So, when you do resilience for a living, and then you're confronted with your own tragedy that you have to recover from and rebuild yourself, then it comes home. So the five things that I and the first one is really people scratch their heads until they really understand it. The very first thing to build personal resilience is to learn something.
Okay.
And it goes back to King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table. When King Arthur found out about Guinevere and Lancelot's affair, and he was despondent, he went to Merlin and he said, "Merlin, what do I do? My entire world's falling apart." And Merlin looked at him and said, "Learn something." And the reason for that, Paul, is you have to do something to take the focus off your own pain and the suffering that you're enduring, whatever that is. And the best way to do that is to immerse yourself in something that could ignite passion in you. And so don't just choose one thing, look at several different things, and something's going to appeal to you. And when that happens, it's a catalyst for you to start to stop dwelling on your own problems and your own situation and improving some part of your life through learning. So if you do that first, the other steps follow in line. So you learn something, you find something you have passion for, you develop that passion, you create a strategy, a plan for you to move forward with this passion, and you monitor the results. And as you monitor the results, you see your life changing for the better.
It's a
And that
number
sounds
also.
simplistic. That
It's
sounds simplistic, but the greatest things in the world are simple.
it's
Simple,
an upper
complicated
also, isn't
doesn't
it,
mean
David?
great.
You do something good, you do at least one thing. Uncle Artie used to tell me, learn one thing every day. Just
Yep,
learn one thing. There's some pride, there's some excitement. It says I'm not a failure. I learned something today. And then
exactly.
I guess it gives you momentum, right? I mean, it's like a salesman, they could go break the ice. A good salesman has to I have a little bit of a cough, so my wife's bringing me some cough drops. Thank you, honey.
No worries.
And so if you don't break the ice, once you break the ice, all right, sell, sell, sell. That's a
Well,
good
and
one, right?
that's it. You nailed it. That's exactly the situation that will occur for you. And so many people get stuck in this, just going back over and over. It's, I call it the tapes, the tapes in my head. These tapes keep playing and playing and playing. And whether it's financial failure or divorce or something that happened like me, a traumatic event, you've got to get out of that box. You're
Okay.
stuck in a box and you've got to get out of it.
Resiliency. So I'm going to learn something today. Resiliency. And the second one is learn something. Yes?
Well, learn something is a part of resilience, of being
Okay.
resilient. That's
And
the
number,
first of the five steps.
okay, number
That
two.
yeah, if you don't start with that, you'll never get there.
I got you. Number two,
Number two is in the process of learning something, find something you're passionate about.
passion. Okay.
Passion is the most, and I've met Tony Robbins. It's in the book, the story about how I met Tony Robbins. But Tony always says, live with passion. So if you have passion, then you start to focus on that, Paul, and you stop focusing on your own hardship. Oh, woe is me. No, no, no. Find something that you can follow, that you believe in. And for me, it was very simple. It was resilience, disaster resilience, community resilience, but it could be any number of things. But just find something and follow it. That will lead you to making that commitment that you're going to focus on this and not yourself and not your own situation. You're going to focus on what it is you're passionate about. Then you do that, you develop a strategy for how you're going to pursue that passion. And when you do that, so you're thinking of the future, you're looking forward instead of looking back. You're saying, here's what can happen. And whether it's something you do for a living or a hobby or a calling to give back, those things are transformative. They will transform a person from being depressed and distraught to having purpose. And then the last thing you do once you start to implement that is that you look back and you say, okay, I was here and now I've moved forward. And you keep doing that because that is very simple reinforcement, cognitive reinforcement.
A part of your passion. So that's number one and
Exactly.
two with A, B, C, and D's in there, right? Okay,
Okay.
number three.
Number. Let me make it break it down. Number one, learn something. Number two, in the process of that, find your passion. Number three, follow that passion, see where it leads you. Number four, develop a concise strategy to now you've seen this is what you want to do. Now you've seen this is how you can contribute and have purpose and meaning. So then the number five is you continue to monitor your success because if you don't celebrate your success, then you're going to that's slippage. That's what I call slippage or mission creep, right? You're creeping back into that state of mind. And this is all about your state of mind. Everything flows from your state of mind.
I hear you, David. You shared a lot, and you got a lot more in that 80 some odd pages.
Oh yeah, there are there's the things that you need to recognize when you're in this situation is what good things happened in your life. Don't focus on the tragedy that just happened. Go back to your childhood, go back to your career. Look at the things that have gone well for you. And that includes the influences around you, your family, your friends. That includes the experiences you've had, the things that you never could have expected to happen. That's in everyone's life. And it just breaks my heart. And people say, well, I never really did anything. If you have lived any amount of time, you've done something. Now, the thing to focus on is not the mistakes you've made. Oh my God, Paul, I've made 1,000 mistakes. I've been married and divorced 3 times. I'm not some guy standing here saying, "Oh, I'm the perfect person because I have resilience." No, 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 no. If I can be resilient, believe me, my friend, anyone can be resilient.
Okay, that sounds like parting words. Well, congratulations, David. We're very proud of you. As we say, we know you a long time, and you have been resilient all this time. So you are a man who hears thoughts, let's put it that way, and puts them into implementation. There you go.
That's
What's
it.
the,
That's the name. That's the name of the game. Well, I can't leave without giving a small pitch because the book's available on
I was going to
Amazon.
ask for the pitch now. What's,
Just go on Amazon and go to books and enter where do I sign? It'll pop right up. And
okay?
it's free if you're a Kindle member. It's free. You can download it if you're not a Kindle member for $4. Paperbacks $9.99. The hardcover is 15. Anyone that buys one and wants me to sign it, just shoot it to me and I'll pay the postage and sign it and send it back to you.
Beautiful guy. David, thanks so much. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Paul. Thanks,
Take care.
thanks as always, my friend.
Okay.
Appreciate it.